At high tide, a nondescript sandy isle surrounded by the shallows of the Timor Sea. But then, the tide falls.
It's truly a sight to behold. An entire reef seems to rise out of the ocean on a falling tide. With a tidal movement of 11 metres, the water cascades down these channels. It's like rapids on a river, until almost 5 metres of reef rises out of the blue.
This reef is unique, much of it living above the low tide level, exposed for more than half of each day. Scientists are attempting to unlock the secrets of the reef's existence in this harsh environment. The lessons learnt could help save endangered reefs around the planet.
James.
G'day, Neil.
How are you?
Very good to see you.
Marine biologist James Brown runs the Kimberley Marine Institute and is central to this research.
It's very hard when you're standing on what looks like a massive concrete almost. What is it that's growing here? What are the constituent parts of it?
Right, so it's one entire huge organism, but it's made up of smaller balls of coralline algae. So they start off as a single cell.
So this is a plant. This is growing.
Or like a plant anyway. And you can see the little balls that form, and then they clump together.
So these two could come together and join as one?
Yeah, that's right. And then they would create a dam wall and hold the water back, and then the corals will grow behind them, and then the whole system continues. This is forming the next island of the Kimberley.
In effect, we're standing on a hard, slow-growing organism.
How long has this immense reef been growing here?
About 7,000 years. The stuff below us grew when the last ice age ended and the area was reef-flooded by the ocean. So that was about 7,000 years ago the reef started growing, but that's 20 or 30 metres below our feet now. And over the next 2,000 to 3,000 years, it rapidly grew up to meet this level now.
That just beggars belief. I mean, 7,000 years, that's all of human history that we think about in terms of the rise and fall of empires and kingdoms, and all the while that's been going on, and before it, this reef was rising up out of the water.
And it's that untouched history that makes Montgomery Reef so valuable, as a barometer for the Earth's health.
The problems with looking at the Great Barrier Reef and all the rest of it, there's just this mix of possible impacts, and they just don't exist here. Because there is no deforestation or no urban areas or no terrestrial runoff from agriculture or anything like that, this is the last unimpacted area in the tropical belt from human impacts.
So the Kimberley and the Kimberley Reefs are the very last canary in the coal mine.
And that's, I think, the
constant crafting of the Earth. Who better to interpret this landscape for us than Professor Tim Flannery?
The colours of this Kimberley region are just so distinctive. Blue sky and sea, white sand beaches, and often brilliant red rocks. And I'd really like to understand why that is. The journey I'm going to be taking will be right through the islands of the region, and I suspect back into deep time as well. I'm in the Buccaneer Archipelago, about 200 kilometres northeast of Broome, and I'm keen to explore a group of islands known collectively as the Iron Islands. Hey Mick.
G'day.
How are you?
Let me get that for you.
Thank you very much. My guide, coastal geoscientist Mick O'Leary from Curtin University. Mick's taking me to a fault line that helps explain the distinctive contorted landscape of the Kimberley. So Mick, why have you brought me to this particular place?
Well, this is Pearl Passage. This is a pretty special place geologically. This is the contact between two of the largest geological terrains in northwest Australia. On the south of us here, we have the 100 million year old Jurassic and Cretaceous Canning Basin sediments. These were laid down, in a shallow sea. You can tell by the very horizontal bedding, these sandstones were deposited at the bottom of the ocean, maybe, in the shallow zone on the continental shelf. And on the north, we have the 1.8 billion year old Kimberley King Leopold sandstone.
A good way of thinking about the Kimberley Formation is to imagine two giant land masses crunching into each other. The immense pressure forcing one to slide down and the other creasing and crumpling over the top. From the air is where you really appreciate the billions of years of contortions, twisting and turning the landscape. If you straightened out this coastline, it would stretch halfway around the world. The shaping of the Kimberley has created rich mineral deposits and great wealth for Australia. To understand that, Mick's taking me to one of his favourite haunts, Cockatoo Island Iron Ore Mine. So Mick, how does the geology here fit in with that bigger picture?
Right, so the sediments would have been laid down during the period post-collision when the Kimberley craton collided with the North Australian craton. That compression collision event actually forced the horizontal beds to this vertical position we see them today.
Metre by metre, this island is being devoured to feed a world hungry for steel.
Comparatively, this whole chain of islands is the richest hematite iron ore anywhere on the planet.
Ironically, when this area was first explored last century, it was considered relatively poor in iron quality. That's possibly because they only tested the red rock. So this wall here, there's quite a number of different colours on it. What are they telling us?
The red is the iron staining of other minerals. Most of it's just blown in as dust and settles on the rocks and stains what would be white rocks red. Whereas it's the grey rock, which is the solid hematite iron ore, which is the most valuable material here.
How valuable? Well, there's a myth I've heard that the grey rocks are so high in iron content that you can weld them together. I reckon we should put it to the test. Hi, I'm Tim.
Tim, how you going,
Good to
Whitey?
meet you.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah.
Whitey. So Whitey, I've heard it could be a rumour or myth that this you can actually weld this, that there's enough iron in it that
I've heard the same rumour.
weld
mate.
the ore
Yeah.
itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how about we give it a go?
Have you done this before?
No,
Really?
we haven't done it before. So
Okay.
we'll see how we go. Hey Tim, we might have had some luck here, mate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's have a look at that.
Wow.
Well, there's been some heat through it, that's for
Molten,
sure.
isn't it?
Certainly has, but
Wow.
there we go. We have
Wow.
two rocks. I'll just
Amazing.
Give you some gloves. You can have a
Thank
closer
you.
look.
That'd be fantastic.
It's extremely hot. Been a lot of current going through that.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a baptism of fire for me there. I got a few sparks.
Did you?
Yeah, on my back. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's pure metal. It's molten metal. You can
It has.
see.
Yep. That's welded them together.
Wow. Well, that's one myth that's
There you go.
confirmed without doubt.
There we go.
It's very surprising. Amazing.
Yep.
The earth that created these ancient rocks is unrecognisable to us now. But their long and tortuous formation has given us great beauty and wealth in these modern times. I started this journey trying to understand the origins of the brilliant colours of the Kimberley region. And I've been led here to this jewel-like rock with its extraordinarily high iron content. And the search for this rock has revealed a whole new chapter in the geology of the Kimberley region that, to me at least, is quite extraordinary.
Still to come, how could one of the most isolated places on Earth hold the key to the Allies' success in World War II?
It amazes me that there's still evidence of disaster.
Everything about the Kimberley coast screams rugged, majestic, occasionally threatening. But if you know what to look for, this land welcomes you and releases its secrets. The next stop on our journey is Swan Point on the Dampier Peninsula, about 3 hours' drive north of Broome. Brendan Moore is in search of a man whose people have lived well in this harsh country for over 50,000 years.
Almost every day we hear about just how fast this world is changing. It's like a relentless mantra that won't go away. What's happening today is already so yesterday. Cultural traditions are becoming increasingly ephemeral and count almost for nothing. For one of the world's oldest living cultures that have been here for over 50,000 years, how and what do you keep on keeping on?
Brendan, how are you, bro?
Good, Brian, how are you?
Good, man, good.
Good, I come in peace, so you don't have to use that thing on me, okay? Brian Lee is a Bardi man. So, where are we?
We're at Hunters Creek.
Who is convinced the old ways are still the best ways. And he's kindly offered to take me mud crabbing, Bardi style. This is a very beautiful place.
It's Hunters Creek, yeah, well, it's named after my great-grandfather, old Harry Hunter. He was one of the old pioneers from around this area way back in the days.
Okay, what's this stuff?
This bag for the crabs and the hook.
Brian's mud crabbing technique hasn't changed much from that of his forebears. Maybe a small upgrade to a piece of purpose-bent wire.
Ooh. We got one just sitting in the hole there.
Right, that's massive.
Yeah.
Oh, those nippers look like they could do some damage there. Yes.
Well, get.
Okay. Oh, wow.
There you go.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Hey.
Should we name him?
Save your fingers. This is Harry.
Harry. Okay, Harry.
Harry the crab.
Thanks, Harry. Brian makes it look easy, but now it's my turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then lift him up.
Come here, little.
Yeah.
There you go. Henrietta.
This is George.
More like Jaws. Come here, fella.
That's better.
There we go.
So if I grab a George like that, put him in.
In you go, Jaws.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful colour.
Feel around in that?
Brian assures me I'm safe from crocs. I don't know if I believe him, though. No, I think it's crab-free.
There's another one up here, look.
Tell me about that feeling of the country looking after you.
Our old people have said to us, you know, you look after your country. You look after your country look after you. So when we hunt and fish here, there's always abundance food sources around. What we'll do later on is we'll go up down the back up here and have a look for some oysters, and we'll have crab and oysters on the fire. So that's our lunch.
Sounds like a very good life.
Sounds terrible, doesn't it?
It sounds terrible, I mean, terrible. When Brian told me that oysters grow on trees here, I thought he was pulling my leg, but no. Brian, this is really magical. It's like a secret garden.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. I'm wondering what sort of traditional tool Brian uses to remove the oysters. Always prepared.
You know I needed that for something.
Is this the only way to harvest these oysters is to actually break the tree off?
Yeah. Well, that branch is dead.
It's like Brian said, look after the land by only taking the dead trees and you get abundance in return. I feel like someone in a city restaurant would pay a huge amount of money for that.
Yeah, well, we get it for free.
Get it for free.
Nature's supermarket for us.
I can't help wondering while I walk with Brian, as the world hurtles towards a future unknown, what is it that draws him to the old ways? So who taught you about this? Who taught you everything that you need to know that you're passing on?
My mum and my grandmother. Our sense of belonging draws us back to here.
Are you hopeful about the future? Are you worried about the future?
No, not really. Not worried about the future because I know the young people coming up after us has, I suppose, an innate desire to look after the country. We always come out here, we hunt and fish and gather food and practice law and culture from here.
One for you?
And one for you.
Brilliant.